The children continue their imaginative play near a castle-like structure. Their mother apparently suggested tiring one of them out through physical activity. They discuss their new home, with one expressing appreciation for its castle-like appearance. The play transitions into a hide-and-seek game with fantasy elements. One child takes on the role of King Hugo, while another becomes Amicia, the Amazon. A character named Lucas joins in as a supposedly evil sorcerer threatening to cook toes into a stew. Lucas reveals he needs to return to his studies as an alchemist apprentice. The children continue their imaginative play after his departure, with one climbing rocks and surveying their pretend kingdom. A new character named Toner joins their play. He introduces himself as a local who works on his father's farm with his brothers. The children welcome him into their fantasy battle scenario. The play takes a darker turn as they discover a mysterious location with burnt beehives and signs of recent habitation. The fun atmosphere shifts to one of caution and stealth. A confrontation occurs with hostile individuals who accuse the children of trespassing. The situation becomes threatening, with mentions of thieves and accusations flying. The scene shifts to a calmer moment where one character wakes from a dream about an island and a bird. They discuss traveling to a red city to meet with alchemists who study something called the Macula. The characters arrive at a new city under the protection of the Count of Provence. They explore a market filled with various goods: food, clothes, weapons, and herbs. The atmosphere is festive, with mentions of a St. John's fair. The group finally reaches their new home, marked by a phoenix weather vane. There's a sense of relief and hope as they prepare to settle in, with one character noting they haven't used the word home in a while. A crisis unfolds as Hugo experiences a nightmare, breaking 6 months of peace after passing the second threshold. His blood balance is delicate due to the macula condition. Amicia and Lucas are tasked with finding Magister Vaudin in town to help with Hugo's deteriorating condition. The macula is described as an evolving condition that pushes carriers through different thresholds. Vaudin, who has studied the macula for centuries, might be their only hope. They begin searching the town, starting with questioning a guard who directs them to the marketplace. The search continues through the marketplace, where they get redirected multiple times. After speaking with a merchant couple, they learn Vaudin might be near the arena wearing a brown tunic. The trail leads them closer to their target. Upon reaching the arena, they discover its restricted access and signs of plague spreading. They find symbols of the order and evidence of sick people from the slums. The situation appears increasingly dire as they realize the infection is spreading through the city. The search reveals numerous casualties and signs of systematic tracking of the dead. They encounter hostile situations requiring stealth and careful navigation. The plague appears to be spreading faster than anticipated, though the victims show unusual patterns. The journey becomes more perilous as they navigate through dark spaces filled with threats. They encounter a terrified survivor who warns them about the importance of maintaining light for protection. The situation grows increasingly tense as they face multiple dangers. They discover an elevator system and work together to create makeshift explosives using sulfur and other materials. This clever solution helps them progress through rat-infested areas, showcasing their resourcefulness in dire circumstances. The search leads them through various locations, including a makeshift chapel and a vegetable garden. They observe the deteriorating state of the city under the Count of Provence, noting the presence of uncontrolled mercenaries despite supposed safety. Finally reaching the Order Lodge, they solve an intricate planetary puzzle mechanism to gain entry. They meet Magister Vaudin, who recognizes Amicia's reputation from previous encounters with the Inquisition and her role as a protector. The journey takes place through the Butcher's District, heading toward an herbalist. The area is closed off by Count Victor's authorities for safety reasons, causing distress among locals whose children are trapped inside. The situation seems dire as they search for an alternate route through a back alley. The group is forced to traverse through a disgusting butcher's dump, holding their breath to avoid the awful stench. The conditions are extremely unsanitary, causing distress and disgust among the travelers. The scene is gruesome, with blood-soaked ground, reminiscent of an arena. The group encounters obstacles, including a cart, and needs to use fire to defend against threats. Despite the challenging conditions, they remain focused on their mission to unite and survive. The group reaches the city walls, but finds no rats or soldiers. They recall a fresco with an island from Vaudin's laboratory. Their destination is near the edge of a forest where the herbalist supposedly lives. The area is suspiciously quiet with signs of recent human activity, but no signs of conflict. The search begins for nightshade, specifically a purple star-shaped flower. The area appears to be secured temporarily, though the situation remains tense as they explore the surroundings for the crucial ingredient. A crisis develops as soldiers arrive to seize everything. Despite physical symptoms of anxiety and fear, a decision is made to sneak in and retrieve the nightshade before the soldiers can take it. The situation becomes increasingly desperate. A confrontation erupts with soldiers after successfully finding the nightshade. Instead of fleeing, one character chooses to face the threat head-on, tired of running and living in fear. The situation escalates into a violent encounter. The conflict intensifies as emotions run high. A character struggles with inner turmoil and the desire to inflict harm in response to their suffering. They are reminded that they are different from their adversaries and that violence isn't the answer. The escape continues across dangerous rooftops. They overhear soldiers discussing plans for an execution and mentions of a girl with a sling. The group decides to proceed without certain items, prioritizing their immediate safety. The group devises a plan involving a ballista and an explosive substance called superfatio. They work together to set up the weapon, knowing they only have one chance to execute their plan successfully. A crucial discussion reveals that a child must be isolated due to a rare condition called the threshold. Despite protests about the child's innocence, authorities insist on containment to prevent further casualties. The mission shifts to finding a boat with red and white sails. The area resembles a battlefield, and they must proceed cautiously while avoiding detection. The next segment involves navigating through an area filled with flammable tar and resin. The group discovers a mixing pool and continues their careful progress toward their escape vessel, dealing with both environmental hazards and potential threats. During an intense escape attempt, characters encounter basic alchemy, which needs to be dealt with. They discuss fleeing from a dangerous situation where people are dying. After successfully completing some risky work, they prepare to meet someone face to face, being cautious about potential confrontation. A confrontation occurs with a soldier of the army of Provence after breaking some laws. Despite attempts to pass, the situation escalates into threats. The soldier recognizes them as escapees from an earlier incident, leading to a tense standoff. At the harbor, which is under lockdown, there's an urgent need to leave town. Someone waiting for a client finds their contract canceled due to the circumstances. The situation becomes more dangerous as they've seen too much, and they're trying to move on behalf of someone named Manchester. A disturbing situation unfolds where people, sick and healthy alike, are being rounded up due to health concerns. The authorities are taking extreme measures, treating everyone as potentially infected, showing how the situation has become worse than previous events. Plans are made to meet at the docks by a house. The situation in town is deteriorating rapidly, with groups preparing to leave. The epicenter of some crisis is spreading, causing increasing concern among everyone involved. Someone wakes from a nightmare as the city begins to collapse. They need to reach Lucas, who's waiting at the docks. The group carries someone who's feeling unwell as they witness the devastation of their city. A younger character named Hugo experiences trauma and guilt over recent events, believing everything is his fault. Despite reassurances about finding help in Marseille, he remains distressed. The others try to comfort him and promise to find a solution. During a boat journey, Hugo experiences seizures and expresses resistance about going to Marseille. He mentions an island where he believes he can be fixed, showing growing tension between different solutions to their problems. A heated discussion occurs about Hugo's care and future. While some want to seek help from the Order, others worry about repeating past mistakes. The debate centers on balancing protection with freedom, highlighting the complex nature of their situation. The group works together to overcome physical obstacles, including clearing debris and managing chains. They face increasing danger while trying to keep everyone safe and continue their journey. After an intense confrontation and battle sequence, the group manages to free their boat. They face dangerous opponents, but successfully defend themselves using various weapons and tactics. Two friends are having a playful conversation about finding bird nests and feathers in trees. One of them found pretty flowers while out with Lucas, but the other prefers feathers. They hear sounds coming from what appears to be a church in the distance. They encounter a group of pilgrims heading to Rome for the Jubilee year. The pilgrims suggest speaking with their leader Pero, who knows the region well and might be able to help them find the island they're searching for. The pilgrims invite them to rest in the shade since they appear injured. While waiting for Pero to finish leading Mass, the pilgrims pray together. The prayer asks for protection and mercy during dark times. After the Mass ends, they prepare to speak with Pero about finding their destination. Pero recognizes their predicament but chooses to protect them. He helps them escape from the camp, instructing them to blend in with the crowd. The soldiers begin searching through the pilgrims, causing tension and fear among the group. The situation becomes more intense as soldiers continue their search. Pero assists in their escape, directing them to a path leading to the sea. The pair must move quickly to avoid detection. One of them is injured and bleeding again. They push forward into a dark quarry where the girl confesses to killing soldiers. She can sense people nearby through their blood, a new ability she's developed. They meet someone who knows about their destination island, called Lacuna, and offers to help them find a boat. The journey continues as they deal with injuries and share personal stories, including memories of a dog from their past. They finally meet the sea scorpion, Sophia, a smuggler who might provide them with a boat. Despite initial tension, Sophia agrees to help them reach Lacuna, though she plans to disband her crew due to mounting pressures from the Count's army and rat infestation. The group heads toward a fisherman's village where Sophia's boat is located, despite stormy weather. They encounter resistance and engage in conflict with guards, working together to overcome the obstacles in their path to freedom. While exploring an ancient site predating the Romans, two companions discuss their complex working relationship. Though they make good partners, they acknowledge they are not close friends and tend to get on each other's nerves. The discovery of an old artifact moves one of them deeply, though they cannot explain why. As a storm approaches, they worry about reaching their boat safely. The group discusses seeking safety and shelter, with concern expressed about rats. A tense encounter leads to combat, after which they prepare to board a vessel called the Rascus. Hugo, who appears quite ill, joins them on deck as they prepare for departure. The crew works together to prepare the ship for departure, dealing with technical issues like raising the anchor and hoisting the mainsail. There is urgency in their actions as they set course for Laguna, with some complications arising with the sail deployment that require quick problem solving. During the voyage, stories are shared about the ship's resilient history, surviving various challenges. The captain, Sophia, explains navigation using tools and playfully mentions sirens knowing all the routes. Hugo shows interest in the maps and tools while exploring the vessel's cabin. Hugo makes a shocking revelation about being told he will die, though he maintains a positive attitude about the journey. The crew prepares to make landfall, with members taking on specific responsibilities for arrival. The mood remains hopeful despite the heavy revelation. Upon reaching their destination, they are welcomed warmly by locals who treat Hugo like royalty, referring to him in connection with the Child of Embers, a significant local figure. The island appears to be celebrating a festival with religious undertones that differ from traditional church teachings. The group explores a vibrant marketplace, searching for clues about Hugo's dream involving a healing pond, special birds, and a massive tree. They maintain discretion while asking vendors and locals for information, though their inquiries yield limited results. During a festival celebration, tension suddenly erupts as hidden motives are revealed. A confrontation breaks out involving someone named Arno, forcing the group to flee. The peaceful celebration transforms into a dangerous situation requiring quick thinking and escape tactics. A violent confrontation leads to intervention by Emily, who helps defuse the situation. The Count offers hospitality to Amicia and Hugo as thanks for their assistance, inviting them to dinner at the palace despite the recent chaos. The group arrives at an impressive palace terrace where they are welcomed warmly. Emily, referring to herself as the mother, encourages them to feel at home despite the formal setting. She speaks of unity among the people of Laguna, centered around the Child of Embers, while learning about their escape from war and plague in Guyane. After arriving at their destination, Agnes is asked to prepare a room for 2 guests. The gardens are showcased, featuring unique plants from various regions that have adapted to grow there. The young travelers are questioned about their parents, revealing that their father was killed, though the details are not discussed further. A metaphorical comparison is made between the thriving plants and people, both requiring water, good soil, love and care to flourish. The land is offered as a place to grow, though the final decision rests with an elder sister. The conversation reveals spiritual beliefs centered around a Child of Embers, celebrated during special days called Brighter Days. The spiritual significance of the Child of Embers is explained as a revered, sleeping figure rather than a deity. A prayer ritual takes place, with participants praying in their own way. The children take time to pray for their deceased father, showing the blending of personal and communal spiritual practices. A secret revelation occurs regarding a bird that bears significance. Plans for an upcoming ceremony are discussed, with new robes prepared. The hosts express appreciation for the children's respect shown to their spiritual traditions, noting how a single child can significantly impact the world. The guests are welcomed with comfortable accommodations and promised a good dinner. A serious matter regarding someone named Arno is briefly mentioned, with plans for judgment and possible testimony. The hosts encourage enjoying the Brighter Days celebration. The next morning begins with a beautiful sunrise that matches a previous dream. The atmosphere is dreamlike, and there is excitement about exploring the surroundings. The weather is perfect for adventure and discovery. Exploration begins with observations of the surroundings. Some areas are restricted to house personnel only. The environment differs greatly from their home, with new experiences and sensations to take in. A conversation reveals past betrayals and conflicts involving Arnaud. The discussion highlights tensions between different social classes and authority figures, with emphasis on personal loyalty and protection of the young. The exploration continues with observations of local features, including windmills, which spark different interpretations. The climate and atmosphere differ significantly from their previous home, Guyenne. The island setting provides some protection from outside interference. The environment showcases impressive flower growth, possibly connected to the Child of Embers mythology. Ancient olive trees, thousands of years old, demonstrate resilience and adaptation, bearing scars yet remaining strong. Discovery of ancient columns leads to an antique theater. A significant map reveals Byzantine origins and connections to an ancient order of alchemists. The map becomes a crucial guide for their quest. Their journey leads to a temple sanctuary located in a distinctive geographical feature. The quest involves multiple elements: a magical bird, ancient alchemists, and special visions, all connected to a mysterious bloodline curse. The group encounters obstacles near the sanctuary due to an upcoming ceremony. They must find alternative paths while avoiding guards. The atmosphere is tense following recent disturbances. A summer solstice ceremony begins, centered around awakening the Child of Embers. The ritual involves bringing the phoenix flame to the sleeping figure, demonstrating the community's worthiness as caretakers. Participants gather for collective prayer before entering the sacred space. The plague is revealed to be connected to the child's death, though some dispute this interpretation. The carriers complete a ritual involving themes of darkness and drowning. Despite the frightening experience, they persevere with mutual support. A powerful rebirth ceremony occurs where the dying child reunites with their mother figure. The torch is passed on as the child transforms into a phoenix, symbolizing renewal and hope. The flames represent new life and continuation. The truth about the Child of Embers is revealed. They carried the Prima Macula, a corruption that awakens in the blood. This explains the Order's presence and their desperate search for a cure. The rats and plagues were connected to this condition. The story of salvation through the Child of Embers is exposed as a fantasy created by the Order. However, elements about Basilius and Alia remain true and potentially hold the key to helping the current situation. Ancient symbols and healing waters play important roles. An untouched room is discovered belonging to a carrier named Basilius. The space contains toys, including a phoenix figure, and personal belongings suggesting he was treated like royalty. The similarities between past and present carriers become apparent. Another room belongs to Alia, a female protector similar to a present-day guardian. Carved tablets show drawings of her relationship with Basilius, indicating a close bond. The space contains weapons and armor, suggesting her role as a warrior. An alchemy laboratory is found, potentially holding secrets about cures and treatments. Despite its promise, most materials are long gone. The phoenix symbol appears again, reinforcing its significance to the Order. Ancient records reveal observations of the carrier, with the final entry dated 541 AD. The documents tell of Basilius and his protector Amicia Dragas, who was arrested near a round tower after rebelling against the Order's attempt to separate them. The group proceeds cautiously, acknowledging that dreams may not perfectly align with reality. They discover ongoing celebrations honoring the Child of Embers, showing how traditions persist through centuries. Their journey leads them toward an ancient tower and fort. A dangerous journey continues along a coastline with mentions of feathers and a precarious bridge situation. A large fort with a chapel comes into view, creating an ominous atmosphere as the group progresses cautiously through the area. The group encounters a chained prisoner and signs of conflict. Despite concerns, they press forward toward the chapel while remaining vigilant about potential threats and enemies in the area. A tense confrontation with slavers unfolds. The group works together to navigate the dangerous situation, utilizing ropes and teamwork to progress while avoiding direct conflict where possible. A disturbing scene reveals cultish behavior involving rats and prophecies about a special child. The cultists believe feeding people to rats will grant them power and influence in a new world order. A heated discussion about morality and killing ensues, particularly regarding the proper use of power and when violence is justified. The conversation highlights the struggle between protection and ethical boundaries. Evidence of slave trafficking is discovered, including chains and personal belongings left behind. The group follows a trail of blood that supposedly leads to a chapel, though they remain apprehensive about what awaits. Inside the chapel, they discover frescoes depicting a carrier and protector, along with evidence of recent sacrifices. The investigation reveals important historical connections to an organization called the Order. A map reveals the location of a sanctuary palace or fort. The discovery provides new direction, but also leads to a confrontation with someone who had been sacrificing people as offerings. An emotional conversation takes place about loyalty, responsibility, and the consequences of actions. The group acknowledges their unique bond while addressing concerns about reckless behavior. The team reaches their destination, finding an underground entrance. They work together to access a sealed area, hoping to discover valuable information or resources. The exploration continues in an ancient temple-like structure. The group uses Greek fire to open sealed passages while discovering evidence of previous inhabitants and conflicts. The next segment shows the team navigating through an ominous area with strange mechanisms and fire-based defenses. They successfully clear a path forward, demonstrating their growing expertise in handling dangerous situations. A fierce female fighter faced opponents alone while trying to protect someone important to her. She fought bravely, but ultimately met her end in solitude. The scene evokes emotions similar to a dream about dying, leaving uncertainty about whether she succeeded in her mission. The story reveals that Alia, a carrier's protector, fought valiantly but died alone. The chapel contains writings about her story. This revelation triggers concerns about mortality and isolation, but there's reassurance that fighting alone isn't necessary anymore, since people can face challenges together. The group works together to open a mysterious door using ground levers. Despite initial nervousness and hesitation, they successfully unlock it. A strange smell emerges from behind the door, causing some anxiety among the group. Upon entering through the door, they encounter thick air that's been stagnant for a long time. The atmosphere becomes increasingly unsettling, with strange noises and sensations. They discover they're in an underground fortress, suggesting a long-hidden secret. The group navigates through the fortress, dealing with broken bridges and finding creative solutions to progress. They work together to overcome obstacles, using chains and mechanical systems to create safe passages. The journey becomes emotionally challenging, especially for Hugo, who experiences intense fear and mental strain. The location appears to be connected to Basilius, creating an overwhelming sense of dread and uncertainty about what lies ahead. The emotional tension peaks as internal struggles surface. There's a touching moment of support and encouragement, emphasizing the importance of facing challenges together despite fear and self-doubt. After escaping a collapsing structure, the group discusses the impact of the macula on children. They emphasize the importance of trust, goodness, and friendship in overcoming dark influences and finding happiness. The scene shifts to a palace where they encounter guards and learn about unexpected guests, a mother and boy. The situation becomes complicated as they must decide whether to face this new development or continue with their escape plans. A family reunion occurs, revealing crucial information about Basilius, a carrier from the 6th century. They discuss how isolation and fear led to the Justinian plague, suggesting that support and protection might prevent history from repeating. The situation takes a dark turn as hidden agendas are revealed. A character named Emily is exposed as being manipulated with false hopes about a child of Ember's prophecy, leading to a dangerous confrontation and desperate escape attempt. A tense confrontation unfolds where someone demands the surrender of a brother. The situation escalates as they argue about the consequences of taking him away, suggesting that while physical death isn't the outcome, disappearance and the world's indifference would follow. The scene portrays the intensity of protecting a loved one against those who wish to take them. The scene involves a desperate escape attempt, with someone searching for others and trying to find an exit upstairs. The pursuit continues as the characters engage in an emotional exchange about past connections and protecting someone named Lucas. A mother figure appears to be involved in the conflict. The confrontation intensifies with criticism about sword fighting technique. A character named Amicia asserts their independence, refusing to submit to anyone. The scene shifts to a more personal level as mothers become involved in the conflict. A conversation between mothers reveals deeper themes about love and its power. They discuss how love can be both a strength and a potential danger, particularly regarding the child of Embers. The scene sets up a critical moment where this love might have devastating consequences. The aftermath of a traumatic event unfolds as characters try to make sense of what seems like reality or a dream. The scene creates confusion and disorientation, with people searching for each other amidst chaos. A desperate attempt to convince someone to leave a dangerous situation occurs. The scene emphasizes the impossibility of finding true peace, while highlighting the need to keep moving forward despite injuries and exhaustion. Support and determination are key themes. The group discovers something called the nebula, or sun killer. They struggle with the impact of a recent death and the manifestation of the macula. The focus shifts to helping someone stay mentally present despite overwhelming circumstances. The situation reaches a critical point with supernatural elements involving rats and control over them. The group heads toward a harbor while dealing with the physical and emotional toll of their experiences. They discover plans for an execution at the harbor. The scene transitions to a moment of reflection about scars, healing, and acceptance. The characters discuss how to move forward while honoring their experiences and losses. There's an emphasis on the importance of remembering while learning to live with pain. The confrontation reveals a plan to use someone for destructive purposes, aiming to rebuild from the ashes of destruction. The scene opens with intense focus on the sea and determination. The conversation revolves around keeping someone safe until they are ready to serve, with threats of revenge and violence looming. The atmosphere is tense with conflict about handling a difficult situation. A dramatic confrontation unfolds as someone has surrendered to the macula, a mysterious force. The situation has become desperate, with accusations flying about betrayal and responsibility. Everyone involved is facing difficult choices with serious consequences. The group heads toward Marseille, where strange phenomena are occurring. The rats are spreading unchecked, and there are signs of unusual activity centered around the city hall. The heartbeat-like pulses suggest someone is controlling the situation from within. Emotional moments are shared between companions who have become like family. There's recognition of their mortality and the importance of their mission. Despite exhaustion and doubts, they remain determined to succeed and save someone who deserves better. The group discovers someone has merged with the macula, becoming one with it. They plan a risky mission to reach this person, acknowledging their deep connection. Some members are injured, but remain supportive of the mission. A surreal search begins with phoenix symbols leading the way. The environment has become strange and distorted, with reality seeming to bend. There's an urgent need to find someone who has been lost, with symbolic guidance appearing throughout. A dramatic revelation occurs as someone admits to causing widespread death and destruction. They've become something they never intended, merged with the macula. The situation seems beyond repair, leading to a heartbreaking decision. Time has passed, and survivors are adapting to a new normal. They discuss their recent activities, including house repairs and legitimate trading. Plans are made to continue their mission of tracking the macula's influence and helping future protectors. The story concludes with a poignant memorial moment. There's reflection on friendship, sacrifice, and the impact on the earth itself. The focus is on remembering and honoring those lost while ensuring their sacrifices won't be forgotten.